guys! So today's video is going to be all about my favorite concealers and my not so favorite concealers. I have this little container here full of concealers, and I feel like I've never spoken about concealers in general, and I've gotten several questions about concealers that I've purchased, and I've shown you in hauls that I haven't talked about. So, and also in my what is it called, the makeup collection video I did, I forgot to show you a whole drawer, and in that drawer was all of my concealers and all of my foundations. So I already did my top 5 foundations. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that down below. And today I'm just going to talk to you about the concealers that I've used, my experience with them, and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about, and let's get started. And the first one is a no-brainer for me. That's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Treatment, Dark Circle Treatment, I think that's what it's called. The color that I use is in light, and this has like a little spongy applicator, which I really like. I feel like it's really easy to apply. You don't need to get your hands dirty or anything. This is a really great concealer for under eyes. It's thin, so it doesn't crease, and I find that concealers that are meant to be used underneath your eyes tend to be a little bit more thinner than concealers that you would use around the face. So this is a really great one. It stays put, it doesn't crease. It's a really awesome concealer from the drugstore. So if you haven't tried it yet, try it. You will love it. The next concealer that I've tried and that I did a review on a couple months ago is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It looks like that, and the color that I have is in medium 1 custard, and it comes with a little applicator like this. Initially, my thoughts with this concealer was that I didn't like it because it creased. Aside from that though, it's a really great concealer because it stays put. It's kind of on the drier side and a little bit more thicker, but it blends out really, really nicely, and wherever this sets, it's not going anywhere. So I love it. It has really good coverage. It's definitely a concealer that I could use still to highlight my face. And I really like it. I've used it on spots as well, but my main concern with concealers is really underneath my eyes, and that's because I have dark circles and I also have little lines. So it's hard for me to find a concealer that doesn't accentuate those lines and makes me look older. But this is a really great one if I set it. If I don't set it, then it creases immediately. So I love it, but I hate it at the same time. But either way, if you don't have those lines underneath your eye, I think it's still a really great concealer, and it's really good for highlighting as well. So I really like that. Concealer is the one that I'm actually wearing, and this one is a new discovery for me. This is the Booboo Cover Up Concealer, and this is one that came in my Ipsy bag. Let me see if it'll zoom in on that. It's a really great concealer. I know that it's not only supposed to be used on your face or underneath your eyes, but it's also supposed to be used to conceal like bruises or, I don't know, any kind of like a scratch or something, because it has some healing properties in it. But I find that it is super creamy, super pigmented, and I really like it for underneath my eyes. And while it's still creamy, it doesn't, see, it's very, very pigmented. It doesn't cake up underneath my eyes, and I really, really like it. So if you got this concealer in your Ipsy bag and you haven't tried it yet, give it a go. You will be impressed. I really, really like that. And the color that I got is really the best match for me, and I think this is medium. I don't know, it doesn't say here, but I think I read on my Ipsy whatever thingy that it was medium. So I love that. The next concealer that I have is Boing Concealer by Benefit. Now this is a concealer that I used to love, but not so much anymore. And that is because I don't really use concealer anymore to spot treat anywhere on my face. I mainly only use it underneath my eyes, and to use this underneath my eyes, it's a little bit too thick, and I don't really like it because it does crease and makes me look old and haggard, so I don't like it for that. But if you have any things that you need to conceal on your face, like I have this nice little thing right there that I would definitely like to conceal, it works because it's thicker, it's more stickier, like it's tacky, so it'll definitely hold on to wherever you put it. So I like it for that. But underneath my eyes, it's a no-go. And also, the color isn't that great. I think there's only 2 colors if I'm not mistaken, but this one's the darkest, I think, or the second darkest. But yeah, it was okay. At one point I really liked it, not so much anymore. Next up is the Bye Bye Under Eye concealer with collagen and vitamins C and K. The color that I have is a neutral medium. Now, I really wanted to like this concealer, but I just don't like it. It is super, super thick. That is how much I'm putting on my hand, and I'm going to show you why I don't like it. So, that is how thick it is. It's super, super pigmented. So, one thing that it really does is that it does cover up any dark circles. But it is so sticky. Do you see that reflection? That's exactly how it stays underneath my eyes. Like, it never sets. So it just feels sticky on right underneath my eye. And like, for example, like a piece of hair would like get, you know, come into contact with that area, it would stick. And it's so annoying because I can't, it just doesn't set. And on top of that, it creases. And I can't use it to highlight or anything because it's really, really thick. And I just feel like it's just adding like another layer of foundation onto my skin. So I wanted to like it because it said it was for people with like little lines and wrinkles underneath their eyes. But I don't like the texture of that. It just never sets, and if I put powder to set it, it just looks super cakey. And I don't like it. So I don't know. If you have dry skin, you might want to give that a try. But for me, I have normal to combo skin in the summer. I don't like it. That one was a fail for me. Next up is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer, Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. The color that I use in this is 02 Light Medium. And it's funny because I've never used the foundation, but I have used the concealer, and I love it. And it comes with a little applicator like that. Beautiful, beautiful concealer. This concealer is the bomb. It stays in place wherever you put this concealer. It's not going nowhere. It's super pigmented. I use it underneath my eyes all the time, and I never have a problem with it. So I just really like this. And I would actually even use this to highlight because it's thin enough that I don't feel like it'll just look super thick. So I love this concealer. This is definitely thumbs up in my opinion. Next up, I have the Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer. Yeah. And this is really light for me. This is an 02 light, and I normally get a shade lighter just because I like to highlight and make that area underneath my eyes really bright, but this is actually too pale for me. So I might pass this along to my mom. But with that aside, this is a really nice concealer. I like this concealer a lot. And I like it because it's super thin. The consistency is thin, but it's super pigmented as well. So it definitely highlights underneath my eye, and it really covers up those circles. And I don't have any problems with it creasing either. So this one is, again, a hit for me. I want to get the right color, but this one I'm going to give to my mom. So thumbs up for this one. Good job, Clinique. Next up, I have the NYX HD Photogenic Concealer. Now this is a concealer that I used to use a lot, as you can see. I'm kind of out of it. Oops, I dropped something. The color that I have is in beige, and this is, again, super pigmented. It's kind of on the thicker side, I would say. Definitely, it does crease, so I definitely have to set this when I put it on. But the coverage is not the best, you know, like it's not as pigmented as some other concealers, so I find that I have to use more of it. So I would say it's kind of like it's okay. It's not bad, but it's not the best either. I would definitely prefer the Maybelline concealer over this one any day of the week. I have the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. Definitely one of the best concealers out there. I just wish that it didn't clog my pores, because I can't use this every day because it definitely, I feel like, clogs my pores and then I break out. So that's the only gripe I have with it, but other than that, really great selection of colors. It's just a really nice concealer. It definitely is long wearing, doesn't crease, doesn't move. I think it's even waterproof, so it's a really amazing concealer. If you haven't tried it yet, you need to, because it's really, really good, especially for using underneath the eye, because there's, you know, it's thin enough, but it's so pigmented that it's just crazy. So definitely good for circles, for highlighting, for whatever you need it for. This is an amazing concealer. Love that concealer. Next, I have the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD Concealer, and this I actually got on eBay. I purchased this because a lot of you told me that you really like this concealer, so I was really interested. And I got it, and I got two colors because I wasn't sure which one to pick because I ordered it online. But this one ended up being a really good match for me. And that is Creamy Beige. And it says GC973. I don't know if that helps. But it comes like this in a little tube. And it has like a little brush applicator. The only thing I don't like about this concealer is the way that you have to use it. Like, you have to squeeze, but sometimes it gets stuck. So that is one thing I don't like about it. But other than that, really, really nice concealer. And it's like $3. It's super pigmented. It's kind of on the thicker side, but it works. And it does an amazing job of concealing and highlighting and all that jazz. So definitely a favorite of mine too. So if you can find this at your drugstore, I think you guys said it was Duane Reade or Rite Aid, one of those two. I've never seen it in stores, but I ordered it online. I think I got it from eBay, and it was super affordable, so love, love, love. I have the Maybelline Dream Lumi, same concept. It's a highlighting concealer. Love if you can find the right color for you. I use Nude Beige. This one is a little bit too light for me, but amazing, amazing, amazing. Does its job. Have no complaints about it. I love it. It's definitely a little bit more thicker than the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, but I like that because it stays put. So I love this concealer. Definitely thumbs up. Okay, and lastly, I have two concealers. This one's a corrector by Pixie, and it is the Brightening Peach, and it comes like in this bright color, bright peachy color like that. It's not a concealer, it's more of a corrector, but I find that it's really thick, so I don't really like it because I feel like, you know, you still have to go over it with your concealer, and then after I apply my concealer, I just feel like that area just looks super dark, I mean super thick and cakey, and it's just not a good look for me, so I don't really like this, so I didn't like it. And then the CoverGirl Concealer Balm. This one I feel like is a little bit too, a little bit too thick. I think it's good for, you know, the colder months when your skin's a little bit more dry, but for me in the summer, it just, it's just not that good. But I did use it for a while and I did like it, but right now I feel like with the warmer months, it's probably not going to be the best concealer for me to use. But if you have dry skin, this one's a really nice one. The color that I have is in light pale, and I tend to hate these concealers that come in this kind of form, but this one's a really good one. It's definitely good for, I would use it underneath the eyes. I would also use it to highlight because it's really creamy. So yeah, that's my thoughts there. And that's it. That's all the concealers that I have in this little bin of mine. I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye! I got pencil shaving. Ew.